Thought you got rid of me, didn't you? Of course not. Hello, hello, hello. How are we all doing? Welcome back to BRL. We have had an absolutely lovely break. I've done the square root of bugger all since we were last here, having a chat with all y'all. It's been 2 weeks for me. I do apologise for missing the week before. Now the difference between the last time that we had a stream and this time is that this time, excuse me for one moment. This time I'm not on PlayStation. No, I have a PC now. So I'm hoping that we have a significantly better stream, a significantly more smooth and better flowing stream, but I can't exactly guarantee it. Other than that, I mean, I'm just happy to be here, you know. This should be, I'm hoping as well that this is actually going to be a pretty cracking race, because in all seriousness, it kind of should be. Like, there's definitely got a good chance of like a good quality race. Obviously, that's what we always want. But obviously, it's been a little while since I last stepped in here. We have had a race in between then as well, which isn't exactly like ideal. But overall, should be alright, really. Heavy rain in the race. Oh yeah, baby, that is amazing news. I'm so happy to hear that. Heavy rain during the race. That's just going to cause chaos, a thunderstorm. Well, I've turned red flags off. So I just think that's going to be a bit interesting, to say the least. Full wets, I'm going to guess. But either way, welcome back. Should we have, first of all, a little look at sort of what's been going on since we last spoke, and in particular the Drivers' Championship. Now, to be fair, I haven't actually looked at this. So what's it? Mr. Cookie is currently sat at the top with 100 points. Kresnos is just 3 behind on 97. So it's not exactly like we've got a very wide drivers standings. Our Henson in P3, 73 points, and then it drops off Pavlos 69, Jakalako 64. So Mr. Cookie and Kresnos, that's our title battle. I think everybody is pretty happy in saying that. But our team standings is looking a little bit more spread out, especially at the top. Williams is on 130, Alpine are on 100, and Ferrari are on 99. McLaren 95 and AlphaTauri 91. And there you go, Haas is only another 2 points below that, still on 89. So really, the the midfield fighting, P2 to P6, separated by what, 11 points, is ridiculous. You want to include Red Bull in that, you've only got to go another 8 points still. I mean, that's ridiculous how close that midfield battle is. So that's something to keep an eye on, the Constructors' Championship, because yeah, I haven't seen it that close in a long time. But we have actually got some racing that we should probably have a little look at. It's just very nicely. I think this is going to become a bit of a common theme, because whenever I click off of something, try and look at something else, I get a nice, like, sending to the loading screen. So I need to try and figure out how to fix that. Well, I feel like it's going to be more challenging than I first may have thought. Either way, most people are on our laps. We should get some lap data in here as well. You can tell this like first time in a little while that I've been doing an F1 stream. So I've also there's another league I do. We are Gran Turismo. So I don't actually like control anything. So I'm actually having to try and remember OBS, controller, how this all works. Why is Schumacher around? And why has he gone fast? What's going on there? Also, I've got to say, Schumacher, great the fact that I get to say Schumacher. Never thought I'd ever be able to commentate and have to say, yeah, oh yeah, Schumacher's gone down the inside. But that is quite cool. So, we have had one person across, a whopping one person so far across the line. The wreck will be, what's it? Across the line next to 117.3. That's significantly fast. I've just realised as well, I've forgotten to turn that on. Next few drivers coming across the line. Schumacher invalidated. Through Kresnos. What does he do? I'm guessing a pole. Yes, it is. 116.6. We've got an AlphaTauri through next. I think that's Pablos. When's Mr. Cookie through? He's still got a little while to go. Pablos across the line, 117 dead, goes P3. Aston Martin through next. That's Malik, goes P5. Next through is Jelenina, I think is how you pronounce that. Either way, he comes across P4, drop down, P3, drop down to P4. Blackbone knocks him out of his place there. Should probably follow Mr. Cookie, who's actually invalidated his car. And we somehow tend to talk about this fairly often. But he's not very good at it. He doesn't like it. In fact, the guy absolutely despises it. So this is a great opportunity to claw back some points. Well, I say claw back, but you know, just fly away with it a little bit. Mr. Cookie is well and truly on damage limitation today, because I don't want to know how good that is. Oh my god, words. Yeah, I don't know how good he is in Portugal, but we'll be finding out very soon. I've just realised as well with the thunderstorms, I'm very lucky because what's it? Words are not happening today apparently. Oh yeah, I know. I turned down my quality settings, and I thought if it's going to rain, ray tracing, that's just going to break my GPU. So yeah, literally everybody's in. There's not a whole lot to talk about. And I'm struggling. Flying laps, so coming into turn 1, I should probably talk through the track as well. Turn 1 is going to cause absolute chaos because it backs into turn 2 and 3, triple right-handers, and then up the hill, very low traction through this section, but once you're onto the back of the DRS, once you're onto the back straight, you've got DRS to really accelerate and make the most out of it. not using any DRS does that straight. Not too sure why. Either way, now he's coming through and down into the double right-hander. This is a really low traction point as you get up the hill. Expect people to be spinning there. It always happens. I can't do the traction. I just spin at that corner. Either way, then we go through another double right-hander, which is actually a great overtaking opportunity. Expect to see somebody launch down the inside of there at some point, because to make the most out of that corner, you've really got to open it up, and that just opens you up to threat. So expect to see some chaos there. Either way, we've got a long right-hander just to finish. We had the sort of sector 3 there, which I haven't commented on. But either way, coming across the line here, it's going to be our sort of 1:17, 1:17.8, which puts him at P12. It's an improvement. It's still not exactly where he'll want to be, but it's certainly better. Teammate Pablo just coming across the line now. Start a lap, indeed it was. Aston Martin's through next. That'll be Jelena, and then I think no, it might be a Williams actually. Mr. Cookie. He's just got a fastest sector 2 time, so we'll have to keep an eye on him as he comes through the second to last corner and around the final corner. Just a long flat. I don't think you have to lift unless it rains. Either way, it's going to be a 1:16.6, which puts him at the top of the table, but only just 4 thousandths of a second separate. Oh no, not even. Bomber Harris has just come out of absolutely nowhere and put it at a 10th and a half faster than everybody else. So yeah, that's a very good time. Kresnos will have something to say about that, I'm sure of it, as he has just started a time. I do apologise for moving around, trying to find this bit more comfortable spot. Yeah, so I imagine that he'll have something to say about it because he won't like that. Now, Henson's about to come across the line now. He's currently P10. He could possibly look for a P9 here. If Sector 3 was good, it could possibly be P8 as well, but it's a bad Sector 3. So no improvements made as Jay Thompson, I believe that was. No, it must have been his team. Oh, no. Oh, it's Pablos that shot up to P2 there after that lap. So even bigger of a task for Kresnos, who's now down to P4 of all places, but going significantly quicker through Sector 2. It's a purple Sector 2. It's a quarter of a second down on his time at the moment, which would comfortably put him in pole position by about a tenth of a second. If he matches his final sector, but I know Kresnos has probably already improved it. So I'm going to say a comfortable provisional pole. It is indeed a 1:16.214 is an outrageous time. I think Bomber Harris might have just seen that pop up and he thought, yeah, no chance. Not a chance. So Blackbone there just going P3 with a really good time as well. He's a quarter of a second off the pace of Kresnos, but I don't think that's anything to be surprised by because if oh dear, yeah, right, okay. Yeah, no, we didn't catch that on stream, did we? No, we didn't. Don't know what you're on about. Who else is on track? I think just finish a lap. Yes, has. So has I don't know how to pronounce that name, but I'm not usually going to try and John, he's done a lap. I think that's everybody out on track at the moment. Has indeed done a lap. This geezer though, Schumacher, he's just doing a stint on hard. We're not in the race yet. You don't have to do a stint on the hard. I'm just confused. More. Oh, for goodness sake. Oh, that's going to just keep happening, isn't it? Oh, that's going to wind me up. I just, I want to check the lead stream. I want to, check this, check that, see what's going on. And I'm not able to because it just keeps doing that. I love Blackbone says, this track is so fun on the dry. Never been out in the wet. So I think it's fair to say that the race is going to be interesting, to say the least. Yeah, Schumacher's this one of only 2 guys. So it's going to be... Why is it... Yeah, I don't know I've been watching him. He's done 7 laps on hards. He's like he's doing a stint. It's qualifying. It's not the race yet. And that's actually him. That's not an AI. Oh, he's actually finally into the pit. So maybe he was like, oh, actually, this is a great idea. Go out, get comfortable on the track, take some laps up and like that, and then go for a qualify. But I don't get it. Why don't you just go out straight away? I don't know. But there we go. Will he do quali runs in the race? Imagine. Oh, that would be quite funny. Just keeps pitting for first off. Just sits. Because that's the thing, isn't it? Because you can just sit in the pits for as long as you want. You can just sit there and just not leave your pit lane anymore. So it's perfectly plausible, so long as he's doing a proper pit release. Sit there forever. You know, say, oh no, I'm going to wait out this thing. You know, I'm going to just, right at the end of the session, go out for a lap. It'll be like 30 odd laps down. I should also mention, we're pretty much entering the final section now. So, people's laps will probably be their last now. Hazard's gone early, like really early. We've still got 2.5 minutes to go, and he's already coming up on halfway through his flying lap. Issue is, he won't make another. He won't be able to get in and make another. But he's still like considerably earlier. And that's kind of the bit I don't get quite so much. Like, why would you wait it out for so long? Again, I don't really know. But either way, we move. And by the looks of it, most people are now on their outlaps, but I say literally only their outlaps. Nobody has decided yet to go for a flyer, except for Hazard. Cadam's also out on his flyer. He was the guy that came out early as well. But yeah, Hazard just finishing that lap there. P10 as it stands. We'll watch Cadam as he's significantly further behind. But this is the issue as well. They're going to have to try and cut through traffic. It's going to be an absolute nightmare. I can tell you that much, for free. Either way, what could possibly go wrong? So either way, he's about to come through the final corner. See how he gets on. He's currently P14. And he's looking at improving that time significantly. Puts him up to P12. Now, people are going to start coming across the line. So we do need to start paying attention to what is happening. So, Haas through next. That's our Henson on a outlap. Mercedes through next. I think that is that Thompson? Yes, it is on the out. Williams through next. Mr. Cookie. Alpine through next. That's Hazard diving into the pit lane. Alpha Tauri next. I'm going to say Schumacher. Yes, it is. He's on a set of softs. And he's just starting a lap. Manique, no, teammate Jelena through next. That's to start the flyer. Ferrari through next. That is not Kresnos, but we're going to follow Kresnos anyway, because he is currently up on his time and he's looking to improve even further onto provisional pole. There's a Red Bull coming through at the moment. I believe that's Bomber Harris to start his lap. Yes, it is. Kresnos about to come across the line. Will he get it? It's not an improvement. 2 Alfa Romeos through next. Exotic will be the second. His teammate John goes P4 in the end there. Mr. Cookie as well, retiring from the second, interestingly enough. Aston Martin and Melissa across the line significantly slower, so that finishes their time off today. What's happening up here is a Ferrari stops out on track. I believe that's Kreslos. Bomber Harris as well, probably one of the only people now to give a good enough opportunity to possibly go for it, but I'm not too sure. Either way, still coming through very low amount of DRS considering how late on into the lap we are, or how early on we are into the lap. Either way, it's a big improvement, isn't it? And I think Bomber Harris might just put this on pole. All he's got to do is nail this final sector. He's significantly faster than Kresnos across the entire lap, just in the 2 sectors alone. So all he's got to do is just finish this in the same speed that he's done before. All he's got to do is replicate it once again, and he comes through the final corner now. Is it going to be a big improvement? Yes, it is. It's going to be a comfortable pole position by over a 1/10 of a second. Bomber Harris goes past it. Yeah, well, that just tells you everything you need to know about Mr. Cookie and this race circuit. They don't get along. They don't like each other. So either way, Bomber Harris wins. Gets pole position for the Red Bulls with 116.116. So lots of 1s and 6s in there. Could it be a sign? I don't know a sign for what, but oh well. Either way, Ferrari with the Kresnos. Then Blackbone and Jelena on the second row. John Meister and Pablos. Then our Henson, Mr. Cookie. Cheetah and Thompson. Exotic and Marak. Schumacher, Hazard, Kadem and Manique. Yeah, I'm going to go with Manique. I think that's right. And with 10 seconds to spare as well. So look at me go. Either way, just whilst they're all loading in and getting ready for the race, let's have a little chat, Salmi. Welcome to, oh my God, I can't even remember its name, Portimao. I've been here, actually. It's a beautiful race circuit, 15 turns. Really quite good overtaking opportunities. Turn 5, especially that hairpin. And as I said, sort of when you're going up that hill, I'll just have to wait for the corner numbers to come up just to say which one it is, but it is the most northerly point, I believe. Turn 11, great overtaking opportunity as well. Something I have just noticed, found a setup spreadsheet a couple of weeks ago, and it might stop me being 1 second off pole every week. Nice. Under for the start to full wet to dry to inters. So we're going to have a dry... Well, I mean, look at the rain. I mean, it's storming down. It's so much wet. So much water. I'm just going to say, wish you all the best. Wish you all the best of luck, because I think they're all going to need it, because we're going to 5 red lights in a very, very soggy Portugal. No one started. There's a drive-through penalty for Exotic. That's an absolutely horrendous start, and my controller's just decided to give up on me as we go into turn 1. Bomber Harris looks to be very comfortable off at the start, and I think the Ferrari really rather struggling more than anything to try and get himself into place here. The Mercedes Blackbone manages to get himself in front, and yet the Ferrari really struggling. Kresnos already fallen down to P5 now, and struggling still as they've got 2 cars just behind, causing absolute nightmare for them. Exotic, by the looks of it, going to try and launch down the inside, but I think the Aston Martin, what a fantastic move, gets across nicely and just gets slightly later on the brakes, but it's absolute havoc in the midfield here, isn't it? It's just everybody is everywhere and nobody knows quite what to do on these tyres. It's so slippy out there. I'm amazed there has been no major fatal accidents. Everybody's still in this race. I guess, though, to be fair, they're not going fast enough to have a major accident. They're all just about trying to keep on the track at the moment, and I think the Haas might have a little look, decides against it in the end. He's actually going to try and hook in for a slightly later apex and be a little bit quicker out of this corner. Can our Henson try and catch up back to what's it, Kresnos? Well, my possible race strategies is wet, and wet, but it doesn't take into account weather specifics. Well, Bomber Harris is looking really comfortable in the lead at the moment, and Pablos has managed to put himself into a really strong position as well. Blackburn now another 1.5 seconds behind him still. That's when it begins to tighten up. Jelena and back to Exotics had to come into the pits there to probably get some repairs done. I can only imagine that's the case. Jelena manages to hold off Kresnos. Henson is just slightly behind. I think Mr. Cookie gained a position there up into P7, but is going to be under threat from John, who's going to have to try and go all the way into deep inside, and he's managed to get it done with a very nice move. I don't know whether there was much contact made between the two of them there, but nevertheless, John makes his way up to P7, and look at this, the fight between Jelena and the Ferrari. Kresnos having to hold it to the inside. Can he get the acceleration he needs to try and gain this? No, by the looks of it, the Aston Martin is going to have the slightly better acceleration, and will have the inside line for the next corner, and the next 2 corners, in fact. But it's not going to be needed for the second one, as the Ferrari does have a little look. Let's get slightly tighter to the apex at the corner, but he does not move. Well, ever so slightly further behind, Hazard's just managed to get himself past Manning, but I don't think that battle's completely over, because he's going to have to go for the inside move at turn 11, as I said. Brilliant opportunity to make a move, but also a good opportunity to try and hold it around the outside, as Manning proved very well indeed there, and he's managed to keep that position just much quicker through that left-hander. And looking very, very nicely. Done. And ooh, big wiggle there from the Ferrari, just having a look on board, but has luckily managed to keep it out of the wall, which is actually quite a surprise when you see just the amount of change in direction, the change in balance that car had for a moment there. But all is beginning to settle out on track. Everybody is sort of beginning to find their home, beginning to find their comfortable pace. Still back to continue to race. Elena, I think, is going to be able to get the inside line here on the Mercedes. Yes, it comes creeping up nicely. Does get slightly later on the brakes, but it's not quite going to be late enough to be able to make the move fully completed as of yet. It's going to be a drag race out of it. Aston Martin's going to have to go around the outside of the next couple of corners. Can they get him into position? And it's good on the brakes, and it's great positioning from the Aston Martin, and indeed does get P3. So Blackbone down to P4 now, with Kresnos just behind and puts him on a bit of a full-scale attack onto the back of that Mercedes. Almost immediately opts to not look for a move to the inside there, though possibly had the chance, but I'm not going to say that there was a definite, because I don't think it was. But it was certainly still there. It wasn't completely out of reach, if that makes sense. Well, all has quietened down for the most part. Pavlos has just gone fastest as well. That was an interesting. It's a really interesting development, because he's currently catching faster time. Nobody else is faster out there. He's pulling away from whoever's behind him and getting closer to whoever's in front. Look at that from our Anthony. He's just scored right around the outside there. But I think John is going to have something to say about it. He's going to have to go around the outside, obviously opts out of it. That would have been an absolutely terrible idea to go for that move, as Kresnos has indeed got to pass the Mercedes of Blackbone as well. So Blackbone falling down the order a little bit, lost 2 places in the last couple of laps. And look what happened to Moretti. I think he might have had a bit of an incident. But he's back on track now, and he's got them going once again. That was just rather nice to see. And he's just having it down, isn't it? It is the fact that, you know, it's actually kind of difficult to see sections of the track kind of says it all, really. It is just absolute manic out here. Something as well to note, this will make the race longer, like considerably longer as well, because here's the thing. Obviously it's usually a 45-minute race, but if you're going, what kind of laps are they doing? Fastest times are 1:31. Say they were doing like a 1:27 was a race pace time. Right, that's 4 seconds slow. Over 90 seconds, 4 over 90 is the same as 1:15. No, it's not. It's really not. I don't know. I can't do that. So 1 over 25. Which, don't get me wrong, isn't a very large number, but when you think about it, it's 4% slower, which means you're doing the same amount of laps at 4% slower, 33 lots of 4%. Whoa, a little bit of a collision there between the Ferrari and Aston Martin. I thought the Ferrari was going to try and go for a move there, but did just make contact with the rear wheel. Luckily, it hasn't caused one of them to go flying off, but certainly caused a bit of a stir, didn't it? Either way, what I'm saying is, if you're losing 5 seconds per lap over 33 laps, or around 65 seconds, you need about the same amount of time. It's essentially like doing another lap. In fact, over that, it's like doing 2 extra laps. Also, I think it's some fuel as well, because you use more fuel in the wet. Lower traction, you need more fuel. And because you're running for a long period of time. So yeah, Mr. Cookie is going to try and go for the move on our Henson here. He's going to go down the inside into turn 1, gets it done. Plenty of time before they get to the corner. Just up at the front of this sort of act of madness, and by the looks of it, battles continue to rage. Blackburne's having to defend from John at the moment, who does look to try and get, I think it was around the outside there, but it wasn't quite to be. Never so slightly in front of Cresnels, I think is going to probably try and go for a move. And oh, a little bit of a collision there, I think, possibly. Well, Cresnels has come out of it nicely, and I think Jelena has managed to keep it in a straight line. Another little bit of a collision there between John and Blackbone, I'm pretty certain. And that is going to allow our Henson and Mr. Cookie to get in on the battle. I think Mr. Cookie's going to absolutely capitalise massively on this. Our Henson is going to have to do a little bit more work if he wants to try and keep it around the outside of Blackbone. Not quite going to be through the corner, but gets a much better acceleration. The Haas gets himself up into P7 there, and look at that, Jelena having an absolute nightmare at the moment. I think Mr. Cookie had a little looker down to the inside, but the Aston Martin shut that opportunity off very quickly, and Mr. Cookie struggling just as much as the Aston Martin that sits in front of him for that rear grip, which is just not there. Everybody, see, now this is the thing, right? I know in spectator mode the engine's really badly over rev. It sounds though still like Mr. Cookie is actually over revving that engine, like he's taking it right up to the limit, which is interesting because I guess it's been read the least quarters. Probably why he's doing it. Because one thing you don't want to wet is loads and loads of torque, because all you do is just spin your wheel. All you want high power, low torque, and that will be pretty much what he gets up at the higher end. And oh, look at that big mistake there from Blackburn. Breaks far too late into the corner. I think he is just going to hold on to P7. But what he has done is completely opened that gap between himself and what's happened back here. Instantly on track. Peter driving very slowly at the moment. Just getting themselves going. But not terribly sure what happened there. But certainly something did. I also say as well, Pavlos has now broken that second margin to Bomber Harris. I mean, they are 10 seconds away from everybody else. And it's just because they haven't been fighting. Fresnos doing a pretty good job at the moment in P3. He's sort of been left to his own devices a little bit after a couple of incidents, slightly, well, including himself and slightly further down the grid. But either way, that leaves sort of our close battle to now literally Josh Jelena and Mr. Cookie. Blackburn as well with our Henson and Joe Thompson will be an interesting battle at the very least. But yeah, for now I'm going to just continue to watch the Aston Martin and the Williams, because these are very important places, to be fair, because Mr. Cookie will not want P6 if he can have P5. One thing Mr. Cookie needs is, as I said before, damage limitation. Apparently he's not doing a very good job at that. The Jay Thompson there has launched it down the inside at turn 1, and our Henson has to take 9th place, but gets very squirmish, and he's managed to make the move, but he's just far too late on the brakes. You could see him absolutely flying into that corner. You thought, how the hell was he ever going to make it around? And that's not it out in the pit lane. Safety car. Well, he's done the correct thing, but you know, you see somebody that you got all the back. And look at this, side by side. Hazard's got the inside line, all kind of shuts for him. But big collision there with Kadon. I'm not exactly sure who's at fault there. I'm not sure whether grip just got away or whatnot, but they're going to continue to fight. this nothing ever happened. Alpine does finally back out. I think McLaren just squeezes in enough there. Up to the point where it's legal, but not any damage. Yes, worse. Lots of. Well, Mr. Cookie is still looking very formidable on the back of Jelena, but also look who's just entered the battle. Blackbone is now quite a serious contender in this, as he sits just 3/10 off of the back of Mr. Cookie. In fact, Mr. Cookie will be worrying about that Mercedes more than getting past the Aston Martin. Or at least I'd like to think he was anyway. And that Mercedes looks really quick down the straights as well. Really quick, but has sort of slowed down a little bit. And by the looks of it, Mr. Cookie is going to try and go round the outside here at turn 1. Can he get it pulled off? No, he can't. He's going to have to continue it through, and he has continued it through. Big incident here with Kresnos stopped on track. Not sure what happened there, but that's going to demote him all the way down to P8, which puts Mr. Cookie in a fantastic place for the title, because that now puts him 3 places above Kresnos in the one race that he thought he was going to do absolutely horribly in. Currently, he's really helping himself out in the World Drivers' Championship in a highly doubt that anybody was expecting to go. That's a surprise to be sure, I must say. Kresnos there, I don't know what happened, whether it was an incident with John or what, but something has happened. And they did send Kresnos into a rather pitiful spin. He had to wait for everybody else to pass before he could get going again, which is always unfortunate, I've got to say. Like, you do, as I say, yeah, you do hope that incidents don't happen, but a cheeky little every now and then, why not? Right, what's going on? What's happening? What's happening? Jay Thompson is just behind a rather skatey Mr. Cookie. Interesting enough, right, we're on lap 9, coming on to lap 10 now. Nobody is yet to pit. Well, we have got a couple of people that have pitted, but that's for damage. Like, nobody has pitted in the name of tyres yet, and Jay Thompson's looking so quick on the back of Cookie. I can't see. I can't see them staying that way round for much longer, if I'm being totally honest. Jay Thompson does look like he's going to be able to try and go down the inside, and that's exactly what he's going to do. Mr. Cookie holds it pretty nicely through the midsection of the corner, but loses it on the exit. So there we go, the Mercedes up to P5 there. Mr. Cookie demoted down to P6 is not as bad as his rival though. Mr. Kresnos is down to P9 with penalties. I say with penalties. Everybody P8 and below bar cheetah. Right. Yes, bar cheetah have indeed got penalties. It's only the top 7 and P14 that are now penaltyless. So, little interesting stat there for you. Probably something to keep in mind. As the race continues to develop, we will start looking at penalties a bit more and sort of see what changes. Pablos completely ruining my stat almost as soon as I say it. Picks up a penalty. Kind of the last thing he really wanted. The last thing he needed there, definitely. So what's out? So, I mean, don't get me wrong. He's still comfortably P2 because he's 13. Oh! I thought we was about to have a major accident then, and then Marak was a ghost. Oh, that got me nervous. Our Henson into the pit, interestingly enough. Is it for a new front wing? No, it's not. It's for intermediates. Oh. Okay. Interesting. Hazard as well influences. And I think so in the lead. They are indeed. The Aston Martin there fifth in the green tyres. So we've now got some Inters out on tracks. So they've all said, yes, Inters, it's the right time for them. To me, that still looks too wet for Inters. Just the standing water seems a little bit too much for it. But James clearly suggested it. I mean, our Henson said just before the race started that the game was saying that possibly wet, dry, wet race, where it'd be thunderous to the start, full wet, and slowly progress onto the good, and then onto the still, for the rain, when the rain stops, and onto that good, and then the rain begins to start again, but only to intermediate levels. So that'd be interesting. Also, John into the pits. So is Jay Thompson. So yeah, definitely intermediate weather now. Pretty much everybody opting to come in. Interesting enough, our two front runners electing not to, as well as Jay Thompson. They decided to hold out just one more lap. John in, as well as Jelania and Mr. Cooking Fresnos. So just Fresnos as well opting to stay on the wet. So we can take a look at tyres that currently taking place. So yeah, I guess as well, those wet are going to be struggling. They're definitely going to be considerably warm by now. So it's probably a good time to pit anyway. Possibly is a driving force. Bomber and Pablo close to one another as well. That's really close to one another. Who tends to get those two? Possibly one bad mistake from one of these guys on pit entry or pit exit could genuinely swap them round. It's not quite going to be enough. It's two very good pit stops in the both of them. Exactly the same as they entered, so nothing's changed there. They're going to come out here. Jason also in. Fresnos also in. So they leave pretty comfortably. Bomber sitting about 6/10, 7/10 off. So he'll be happy with that. So there we go. Drops down Fresnos. He's down to 8, 9. Because he's going to come out right with Caden. In fact, if anything, now it's a fight with Blackbone, as then going to come out pretty much at the exact same time. But I think the Ferrari's just about going to manage it. Only just, I think the Mercedes is going to. Whoa! The Mercedes having a little look, and I think it's going to go through now. Not warm up, but very low to go through. Either way, we're now firmly into intermediate weather, and you can kind of tell that the rain is definitely significantly less than it was before. You know, if you go back to the sort of the earlier parts of the race, you'll see the rain absolutely storming down, and it's a lot calmer, but it's not completely dry. The rain is still there. It is definitely still raining, so intermediate weather is probably the correct option across the board. So I'm interested to see sort of like what time it switches to the dries, because if it's relatively soon, then we probably could get that stop now. Mr. Cookie, he's going to go for a move and gets it done very nicely. R. Henson's going to have to just sit behind him for now. I think he'll probably be able to get it going once again. I think we could have a good battle on our hands here with Cookie and Henson. It's the battle of the OGs, isn't it? Well, only issue is now it's getting wet, dried up a little bit. It's certainly opened the field up a little bit. Oh, fastest lap, Bomber Harris. So he's clearly pulling away now. So yeah, Bomber Harris looking in a really strong position now as Pavlos with that penalty and picking up the fastest lap. So Pavlos struggling evidently. But stuff's definitely beginning to open up. Jay Thompson's managed to get past R. Henson, but I think R. Henson's looking close. I mean, Mr. Cookie's managed to get past R. Henson and now really pull away. Penalties is becoming like an indefinitely more interesting subject to talk about. There's a lot of them, like a lot of them. So what's that? 3 second time out of this bad loss makes no difference. 3 second time penalty for Cookie. And goes down to 7. This is a good opportunity. If Cookie can open himself out a little bit, to possibly go good couple of places above Cresswell. Who's like Cresswell is pretty like possibly not in the same fight, is it? Like 13 seconds. Well, hey, hello. That's close. That's really close. Caden just about manages to hold it down the inside, but our Cresswell will be asking for a little bit more of a fight. He's going to try and loft it around the outside. Wait for a slightly deeper corner by the McLaren. Tried to switch back. Didn't quite pull off. Tries to switch back again. Once again, not quite enough space to make it work. But Cresswell looking really, really fast now in comparison to Caden. Holding him up at this point. He's going to try to switch back once again. Once more, he can't quite get it right. Hayden breaking really, really late into these corners, really opening up the opportunity for Cresswell to go for a move. Just keeping Cresswell at bay, and I say literally just. Very, very close. Hayden got a completely different line. He's going to have inside the protective line here, and I think once again Cresswell's going to try the dive to the inside. It doesn't quite work, but he has got the wheel in, and I think he tries to hold it around the outside. A little bit of unpredictability from Caden is kind of forcing Cresswell into really having to imagine up an absolutely wonder move, and maybe this switchback. This is going to be the switchback that makes it work, and the hook around the right hand side, all the way around. Can he make it work? They still go side by side now through the final corner. The Ferrari's got to travel a little bit further. That's going to allow the McLaren to go side by side into turn 1. They're going to go. Genuinely next to no. McLaren's either backed out of it or had an absolutely horrible main straight, because Ferrari has comfortably gotten himself into P8 there. He's now only got a rather small gap of 15.8 seconds to our Henson, the next place up. I mean, I say that, I definitely, if any of you have seen Le Mans Ultimate recently released, and oh, hang on, I'll talk about that in just a moment's time, because by the looks of it, Caden is going to lose another place. Yeah, Blackbone gets himself up there pretty nicely. I mean, Caden's got 8 seconds of time penalties, so he's losing all of these places anyway. But just losing them on track as well. So yeah, as I was saying, Le Mans Ultimate released recently. I have yet had the opportunity to play it, but I will be very soon. But it seems like a really good game to commentate on. If they get like the broadcast settings right, that could be really quite good. You know, do the BRL, PRL 24 hours of Le Mans. What are we thinking? We might do like a cheeky little 3-hour endurance races. Though, actually thinking about it, it's people or at least they're not planning on it just yet. They're not ruling it out, but they're not planning on it. which to be fair, I respect. I think if you can nail the PC version and get it into a really good, I'd rather the PC version be absolutely nailed in good working order and then focus on the console or than three really broken games. Just those three really broken games. Halo's having an absolute nightmare here, isn't it? It hasn't now got past. And it was the last of those three sections. Let's go back. Set the race up. Weather is on approximate, it's not on precise. So I know obviously they said that, oh yeah, like, we're looking at having some of the race in dry, then going back to wet. It could literally just be all wet. Because that's the brilliant thing, we have sort of literally designed it so it's not quite sure as to what's going to happen. But nevertheless, we're currently pretty comfortable through here. Nothing's looking too major at the moment. Just gonna, excuse me for one moment. This is about to pause. So you ready? 3, 2, 1. Bingo! Got rid of it. I've just turned the volume of the cars down a little bit, just so you can hear me a bit better. So yes, we are still got 13 laps to go. We've still got quite a way. This is currently our only battle, Jay Thompson and Mr. Cookie. I say it's our only battle like it's a boring one. It's actually really quite intense. These two have been going at it for some time now. Mr. Cookie is currently in the slightly advantageous position. He's currently ahead, but I think Jay Thompson with a good toe and then getting the toe off of the Aston Martin, he's going to try and launch it around the outside. Has managed to get it done. It's very nicely done, but the Williams is going to stick with it inside line for the next corner as well. Gets it nicely into place. It's a very deep corner though for the Williams, but that does put him back onto the inside line for the next two corners. All he's got to do is try and keep his wheels in it. He hasn't managed to do so. He's going to have to try and possibly go for a late break dive, but elects against it. And I think quite a wise move, really. I wouldn't have wanted to try and go for that move. That was just a recipe for disaster, if I say so myself. So yeah, these guys are still undeniably sort of the closest cars that we've got. Everybody else is like a good couple of seconds here, couple of seconds there. Where's the fun in that? You know, we want tenths, you know, 3 tenths between Cookie and Jay Thompson. Now it's half a second. You know, we need it close. We need it competitive. I think these three are the ones bringing it. Bomber Harris has just run a practically flawless race. I think staying in the lead for as well. Don't know. Hang on a minute. Is it a Grand Slam as it stands? I think it is. It very well could be. I can't remember any. Whoa, hello. What's going on here? Jay Thompson. Oh god, yeah, no. Jay Thompson's just managed to get past. Oh, big collision there between the two of them. I think Jay Thompson's going to be allowed through because of that. Yes, he is. Life there by Jelena a little bit. Jay Thompson calmly takes it. Or now Jelena and Mr. Cookie. That could be a battle I'm interested in seeing. Jay Thompson sort of... Oh, hello. You barely hear me. Let me have a little look. If I'm like here and then I'm here. Or if I just like... Oh yeah, hi J Horse. Where are you, my friend? Where have you been? What's going on? Why aren't you with us today? Or rather, it's very depressing. We love having you about, and we haven't got you at the moment. It's not fun. But yes, thank you for telling me. That's very kind. I still need to like figure out what levels of audio I need right now. So yeah, just if something's quiet or if something's loud, please just tell me. So I can sort it, so I can figure it out. Everything is still learning because this is the first stream I've done. So do excuse me. So yeah, Jelena at the moment keeping a pretty good pace gap between himself and Mr. Cookie is second already at the moment. May I say as well, the rain is definitely stopped, hasn't it? It has as well, hasn't it? Yeah, the rain is definitely stopped. That's interesting. It's really interesting, actually. Okay, so the rain has stopped. Lap 22 of 33. Lap 26, I'm going to guess, the softs. And yeah, oh, DRS enabled already. Okay, that throws a spanner in the works. Question is now, who's pitting first? That's my question. Who's that? Pit and Schumacher. So, Bomber Harris in. Pavlos in. Hayden says fastest time. Oh, the track is practically dry already. Oh my god, you can see that dry line. I immediately thought that the track is just dried like that. Right, okay. Big lock up from John there. But it's not the end of the world. It's only a set of intermediates. He's not going to be driving on them again. So everybody into the pits by the looks of it. Massive lock. Yeah, literally everybody coming into the pit lane. Mr. Cookie with a 3 second time, but 5 second time, but sorry, for speeding in the pit lane. Not good on his accounts. He will not be happy with that, I can tell you that much for free. But this is going to be interesting as to sort of see where everybody slots out. I'm not exactly sure how everybody is going to come out. Interesting enough, softs for the most part. Pavlos and Jay Thompson opting for the mediums, thinking 10 laps softs. Portugal not quite going to do it. Either way, Bomber Harris comes out comfortably at the top with Pavlos. John comes out comfortably P3, Doug comfortably P4, but Jelena right on the back end of him and looking much quicker on those soft tyres compared to the mediums of the Mercedes. He's going to go for the late dive. Huge lock-up, cloud of smoke, but he's going to manage to get himself through. And I think almost opened the door there for Mr. Googie. He's going to try and go for the exact same move. Just slightly later on in the track, goes around the outside of that right-hander. That's a very brave move. And I think the Mercedes wants a little bit more fighting. Yes, it does. They're going to continue side by side now through the left-hander and back up the hill. The Williams just going slightly defensive into the right-hander, but elects to go back into the racing line because there was absolutely no need for him to do anything else. There we go, Mr. Cookie. So there we go. Jay Thompson has gone through all of that effort to get himself in front of Mr. Cookie and Jelania, only to lose those positions again immediately. Yeah, no, genuinely surprises. Genuinely surprises me. I think Jay Thompson is just going to have to desperately stay within DRS, otherwise it's done for him. Because what he needs to do is stay within that 3 seconds, and if they break out of that DRS, then it's done. Safety car, safety car. What's caused that then? Of all times to get a safety car, just after we've had a pit stop. Really? Bloody really? It's Caden. I don't know what caused this out, to be fair. But it's Caden that's gone out, and he'll just quickly. So this is what I do, right? When I haven't noticed something, and then obviously we get like a safety car, I just go back on my phone and watch the screen and see what went wrong. So yeah, Caden. Oh my god! Right, okay, that's a really interesting. So he's come out of turn 2 into turn 3. And he's just gone horribly wrong. No, I don't know whether that was intentional or not. Kind of looks a little bit like it, to be fair. I don't know, if you want to go back and watch the stream and then sort of just come back and see what I think here about it. Obviously, you only get to see a little orange dot, which isn't very helpful. It just looks like he doesn't brake. The speed stays the same. There's no slowing, which kind of makes me feel like he just didn't brake, or maybe his brakes failed or something. Genuinely don't know. I have no idea. But there we go. Either way, we do indeed have a safety car. Now we are into the dry running of this race. The clouds are still looking fairly grey and ominous. Interesting enough, Mr. Cookie and Jay Thompson both electing to come into the pit lane. I think Mr. Cookie to serve that penalty, if I'm right in saying. That's going to allow Kresnos, though, interestingly, to come through. And so will Jay Thompson. So Mr. Cookie opting to serve the penalty and lose time and lose places. 3 places as well. Now P9. He was P6. Quite nasty. That's not what you want, if I'm being brutally honest. He's now got Blackbone Jay Thompson, and importantly, he's got Kresnos in front of him now. All of a sudden, he's actually gone from being in a really advantageous position to being in a rather annoying one, to be fair. Take a quick look at the point system, because obviously I can't remember it. It's not like I've been here for 6 seasons or anything. 7 if you count the 3 seasons now. Right. What was he? P6, P9. So that's a difference of 6 points, which is 3 points more than the gap. So that would put Kresnos on, well, just 3 points more than Mr. Cookie, whatever that is. I genuinely don't know. Henderson's ahead of both of them. He's on 73, so he'll be doing a decent little job. More importantly, of just trying to break away from anybody else. So Pavlos, who's currently in P4 in the championship, he's got 69 points. So he's only, 4 points behind. As it stands, him being in second would receive 22 points, while Henson being in fifth would only receive 16, so that's an 8-point gap. And the four. So once again, it's double. How weird is that they're both double? I'm so watching this track. Got 6 seconds. Oh, Pavlos has got 6 seconds. Oh my god, I didn't realise that much time. Yeah, 6 seconds of time penalties. Time penalties are going to be major. I mean, John is looking at a fantastic delivery right now. Actually, could possibly even win this race. Kresnos as well, just staying out of harm's way. Great idea, honestly. He's doing him a massive favour. He is... Yeah, Jayosh, you have missed the corker. It's been a properly good race. Safety cars in this lap. That's nice to see. Bomber will lead us off. Should be inters at the end. Henson, whilst you're still... I know you're about to literally start racing, but have you got any more confirmation on those wets? Because obviously I've put it on approximate. I haven't put it on precise. It might not come, but it might come. I'm just not sure yet. Well, Bomber Harris is waiting a very long time to get going. We have a nice little breeze there. But we're going anyway. We are going. A Bomber leads off finally after taking a rather long time to do so. And that is going to allow John and Jelena to go possibly side by side into turn 1. No, they begin to single file back up once again. Everything looks really rather like not real. Everything looks a bit fast, doesn't it? Everything looks like a bit sped up. I think that was to try and catch up with the delay, but either way, I think that might just be how quick the cars are in comparison to how they have been, because they are absolutely flying around this track at the moment. Oh no! No, that is counting the right amount of seconds. That's about right. Either way, moves are happening up and down the grid. The two Mercedes are going side by side at the moment, and round the outside goes Blackbone. Something just doesn't feel right. They just feel like they're going like super speed. Like I've got it on like 1.5 times playback, you know. I think it's settled down. It must have been because of the freeze that it's like trying to catch itself up. At least that's kind of what I'm guessing it's doing. But it was really weird. I don't know whether that was just because it was quick. Either way, I should probably not be. I should probably be talking about like what's going on. And at the moment, not a lot. Everybody's really close to get. Pablos has just gone fastest on mediums. How's that happened? Everybody else is on softs. Yeah, it definitely looks accelerated, doesn't it? Like everybody looks quicker than they are. Anyway, we've got a yellow flag in sector 1. That's an Aston Martin. That's Manique, unfortunately. Kresnos and Jay Thompson currently having a bit of a scrap at the moment. Let's see who comes out. If Jay Thompson's going to have the outside line, he's going to be slightly worse off on the brakes. The Ferrari gets a very good corner, and I think he's just going to get the acceleration here. Benefits of having the inside line. You can do stuff like that, or you just can't do on the outside. Very, very nicely done by the Ferrari. The two Mercedes now paired up once more, with Mr. Cookie sat just behind. I think Mr. Cookie as well. Thinking about it though, Kresnos in 6. Whoa, what's happened there? Why has Kresnos got 6 seconds? Was it Jay Thompson that had none? And Kresnos had. I'm confused. I'm really confused. I was talking about Kresnos not having any penalties and like praising him for it. Whether that's just my game that's just screwed it all up, I'm not too sure. If I look back, oh yeah, Kresnos had penalties then. Kresnos had penalties then. Oh, yeah, no, it must have been Jay Thompson. Jay Thompson in a really good position. I genuinely think Mr. Cookie might go above Kresnos at the moment with those penalties. Ambros has managed to actually get himself into the lead, which means Bomber Harris will definitely not be getting the Grand Slam because he hasn't led every single lap. I didn't know whether he had, but that's a confirmation more than anything else. Interestingly enough though, third was like really separated, and now it could be pretty much anybody. As Mr. Cookie there getting himself in front of Blackbone into P8, so the Mercedes having to push down to P9, which does put Cookie in a fairly good position. Jay Thompson, slightly better position still. He goes P5 where he is at the moment, and comfortably in manner too. We look at Gat's leader as well. Whoa, what's happened to John? He's in the wall. Oh no, poor John. In fact, actually, interestingly enough, Jay Thompson takes Pablos' position. Jay Thompson goes P2 here, ladies and gentlemen. I can't quite believe it. I'm genuinely fairly certain he goes P2. That's mental. He's P6 at the moment. Don't get me wrong. We've still got another 3 laps of racing to go. So there's plenty of time for everybody to spread out. But Jay Thompson is looking in an absolutely phenomenal position at the moment. And look at that from our Henson having to back out of that. Sorry, Kresnos managing to get the move. And just planting our Henson into the trap of Kresnos. Into the trap of Jay Thompson. Mr. Cookie, though, I think might just get in front of... Whoa, what's happening here? Jay Thompson trying to go for the move on our Henson very early on. Can he get it done? Yes, he can. Finally on the exit. Took him a little moment just to, get the acceleration and just get the car into the right position. But Jay Thompson gains that extra place and almost confirms the fact that he's currently running P2 on penalties. That's just how much penalties are playing a factor in this race as it stands. Genuinely fascinating just how much of a change they're making to the outcome of this race. We've only got 3 more laps of racing to go at the end of this lap. We'll have 31, 32 and 33. And still plenty of time for stuff to change. So much so, Kresnos is going for a move on Jelena here. He'll probably be wanting to try and make that move and then expand his gap as Mr. Cookie tries the same thing on our Henson and indeed gets it done. Mr. Cookie up to P6 there. Kresnos up to P3 with that move. So as one gets further away, the other catches up once again. By the looks of it, it's what? It's half a second, 7 tenths, 1.2 seconds between Mr. Cookie and Kresnos, which currently defeats the 3 seconds that Kresnos has on disadvantage in penalties, which does indeed place Mr. Cookie above Kresnos as it stands. So that's an interesting thing to keep in mind as well. Mr. Cookie will get that additional points advantage over Kresnos. It might not be a lot, but if anything, it just makes room for if, Cookie makes a mistake somewhere else in the rest of the season in the next 4 rounds. We have 7, 8, 9 and 10. Then, you know what, there's time. There's time for him to, make a comeback. If he has a bad week, it's not quite as bad of an outcome, if that makes any sense whatsoever. Either way, no major moves currently sort of looking like, oh no, I say that, Jay Thompson's going past Jelena to get himself up into P4. Very nicely done as well. I mean, is he going for the win? Possibly. You could definitely try and go for it. He's going to have to make a big sort of gap between Bomber Harris and himself. It's going to be hard work to try and get that gap closed, but it's certainly plausible. By the looks of it, that rain is going to hold off. I say that, you're going to see it start spitting in a moment. No, it looks too bright for it to start raining. It would have to darken down. Oh no, 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 no. No, you're not disconnecting on me now, boy. Back. We're back. Yeah, unplug it, plug it back in. That fixes it. I need to figure out where I put my PS5 controller because I can use that one wirelessly. This is an old Xbox controller. This doesn't have Bluetooth. So, well, as it stands at the moment, for the most part, penalties aren't making much of a difference because lots of people have 3 second time penalties. Pablos finally getting overtaken by Bomber Harris, who really does extend his bit of gap. And I think he's just going for a push lap, possibly fastest lap. The fastest lap, definitely the fastest lap. Hasn't got it at the moment. Jay Thompson as well, looking to try and go for a move on Cresswell. Get that done on there. It does so indeed. He's catching massively. Just chopping his way through. Mr. Cookie now sitting right behind Cresswell. So if that wasn't guaranteed before, it's pretty much guaranteed now that Mr. Cookie will indeed finish above Cresswell and gain those extra points. More importantly though, however, where does Cresswell actually finish here? Because he's got 3 seconds disadvantage, so that's 4, 8, 1.9, 2.3. He finishes at P8. He loses a lot of places because everybody is so tightly packed in that midfield, and I believe Kresnos is probably well aware of that. But let's cut to the front man because he's coming around the final corner. He's led pretty much the entirety of the race with a cracking pole position and possibly a fastest lap as he comes across the line. Bomber Harris wins in Portugal, and indeed everybody does come across the line, and we see people plummet and people gain as everybody begins to settle into their final places. And wow, what a race it was for Bomber Harris. What a comeback as well from Jay Thompson, cutting through the field right at the very end there. And wow, oh, getting a nice little what's it as well. How nice. Nice little achievement for watching an online race. There you go, Jay Thompson, driver of the day according to EA, and I think that is pretty deserving. But either way, congratulations to all 3 podium drivers who have put in brilliant shifts. I love the fact there's absolutely no music at all. I was expecting just like a little bit of music. There's none. So there we go. Well, with that, Bomber Harris wins with the Red Bull team, and Jay Thompson comes in P2 for Mercedes. Mr. Cookie in P3 for Williams, and Jelena in P4 for Aston Martin. Henson in P5 for Haas, and Kresnos P6 for Ferrari. Pablos P7 for AlphaTauri, and Chisa P8 for Haas. Blackburn P9 for the Mercedes team, and Hazard in P10 for Alpine. Schumacher P11 for AlphaTauri, and John in P12 for Alfa Romeo. Manik in P13 for Aston Martin, and Cadem P14 for McLaren. Marek in P15 for Ferrari, and Exotic in P16 for Alfa Romeo, with Cadem, Marek and Exotic all DNFing. And the fastest time came from Pablos, and yeah, it wasn't faster for Bomber Harris, unfortunately. And Jay Thompson started 10th on the grid as well. Mr. Cookie 8th. Really good comebacks for the both of them. Good points on the board, especially for Mr. Cookie, who retains and pushes up the what's it? I can't even think. But either way, join us back in just a moment whilst I get some interviews ready. Hello, 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 and you join me back for the interviews today. Right, so we are going to start with our third place, and we'll start with Mr. Cookie. It's a really solid performance from you for a track which you said that you most deeply despised.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy. I mean, maybe not after qualifying. Qualifying really wasn't great. I think I started P9, if I want to be honest with myself. Um, I think it was around there.
Hmm.
I think I just did one lap, um, constantly validated, and then messed up my final one. I think because just card could not turn, which is pretty annoying. So um, it was still a decent lap. I think it was only about half a second off pole, if I really remember correctly. But half a second's a lot here, and especially because it's so close now with a load of nice drivers. So yeah, a bit of a shame that qualifying didn't really go to plan.
Yeah, well, qualifying wasn't exactly yeah, not ideal, but I mean, talk us through the genuine chaos that was the race.
Okay, I can't really list everything, but what I did, I mean, I know like a lot of people have different opinions on this, but I opted for a dry setup, and it's very difficult trying to get used to a dry setup in a wet track. But if I've kind of learned anything from like previous times I've done dry to wet races or wet to dry races, that like every single time you do it, put a dry setup on, because there'll be like that one time where something happens, it's dry, the field is bunched up, and then you're all just like, it's pretty much just perfect for those last couple of laps where you can make up a lot of ground against people. Because I think especially here, like everyone was doing, I think a lot better than me, especially on the brakes and stuff like that at the start. But then by the time it turned to the dry period, it was kind of, I could be a lot better on the brakes on occasion, and then the straight line speed difference was completely crazy. I'm seeing people run 50, 45, I think one of the wings were. And while that's
Mm.
good in like sector two, it's just ridiculously bad on the straights because it's, you can't defend it. And that's what I went with. And I've got a P3 on track currently, but I
Hmm.
think I'll be able to get a P2, considering that I think two of the warnings I got on my first lap aren't actually correct, and I only got three warnings across the whole race. So um, yeah, it's good to see how that goes, and especially if everyone else is going to be reporting their penalties. I think a couple of people definitely are. So we'll just have to wait and see on that.
Yeah, I mean, well, very good summary. I say when you are in sort of like really, really wet conditions like that, how do you, especially if you like how you said on a dry setup, trying to keep the car sort of under control on sort of lap one and two where it was really condensed, is that the single most terrifying thing you can do?
Yeah, you can't do anything about it. Like especially those first couple of laps because everyone's like so close together. Everyone's trying to find out the track as well on their setups, and it's just everyone could occasionally go for moves they don't want to because they're braking too late, and it's just, it's carnage. So I'm very glad it went from like the icon. I'm not sure if you saw it on like anyone's stream or anything, but the icon was a literal thunderstorm rather than like just rain falling down.
Oh
Like it was
wow.
literally a thunder graphic in the middle of it. And I'm pretty sure I've like never seen that on this game, especially in a league race. So I'm surprised we've all, or at least I think 13 of us by the end of it. I think 13 of us of the 16 managed to survive, which is, yeah, I think that's pretty mental.
Yeah, I mean, I think you summed it up pretty nicely. So, shall we get your three-word race roundup?
Many warnings. Like the amount of penalties I saw in like the dry period when everyone's finally all done, and the amount
Hmm.
of people that you see having penalties. I think there's only three, four people
Yeah,
maybe
that's
without
about right.
penalties by the end of it. And
Yeah.
it was like I don't know what's going on, but that's just ridiculous with the
Mm.
amount of penalties. So yeah, I had fun, and I mean, out of every race I've controlled, I think I've still got a podium in every single one. So I'm keeping up a good streak at the moment, and I think it's helped as well, especially because Cristiano didn't really have the best of the races. I think down in P8, I want to say it'd be around
Hmm.
there. So yeah, helps with the championship as well.
Yeah, I was about to say you've pulled ahead even further in the championship now. Does that sort of give you a bit more of a respite more than anything?
A little, but I also know that there are still quick people out there. I mean, Pablos, for example, I think he still took the win on track, and I think he's still around third or fourth in the championship. So it's not like he's going to be going away, and he might be able to get rid of some of his warnings as well. But just I've also got to look out for other people still because everyone who's ahead of me still is not going to be like it's not going to be like not important. Pretty much, I'm not only going to be focused on Cristiano, it's going to be focusing on absolutely everyone, really. So,
Mm.
um, yeah, Cristianos, Pablos, Bomber Harris as well. All these guys are really quick, so I've still got to like look at them rather than just Cristiano. So I don't feel safe, but I feel more comfortable.
Okay. Yeah, I think that sums it up about right. Well, congratulations on the podium. Even if it does get improved, even if it hopefully doesn't get worse. And we look forward to seeing you next week.
Thank you.
Alrighty. Well, we will move on to our winner as we will talk to one other person, but we'll speak just after that. Um, but first of all, congratulations.
Hi, thank you. Thanks a lot.
I mean, talk us through that race because it was quite comfortable for you, wasn't it?
Yeah, after I've seen now that a lot of people opted for like the lower wing setups, um, I can now really understand how the gap uh, got in the first place. Because in Portugal, I think the wings are pretty like rigged because you can actually run pretty high wing even in the dry. So I opted for like an intermediate setup. Um, and then at the start, I really got a good getaway, could stay ahead in turn one, and then sort of get into the rhythm, get used to the braking points and stuff. And then after that, Pablo really came up on me, and he really put the pressure on. But on the straight, I realized, and certain other spots on the track, I realized that he's running a much higher wing than me. I think he ran like 50, 45, and I did 49, 42. So I knew I had the advantage there, and so I just could kind of manage the ERS. And yeah, when it got to intermediate conditions, I knew that I was going to be fast on that setup. Yeah, and in the dry, I felt really confident anyway because of the qualifying and because I knew the setup was working really well. To be honest, I didn't really expect the time I did. I think it was a 16:16 in that
Mm.
area. Last Sunday, I did a league race in Portugal with a much lower wing, and I only did a 16:6, so I improved by a half second there, and that was kind of surprising. So I was pretty confident, even though the safety car then came out and made things a bit spicy. And yeah, I definitely wanted to get Pablo on track in the last lap because I knew I had so much more so much more straight line speed, and that's what I did. And yeah, pretty happy.
Yeah, I mean, just in regard to that safety car, I think it's sort of the only kind of time where you really have much competition. I know, um, oh god, who was it? Jay Thompson
Mhm.
was getting closer and closer, but did you really have sort of any point where you thought, "Well, this could get a little bit worrying," or do you think you had it in the bag for the most part?
Yeah, I was a bit worried because I was on two warnings, and I knew when I get a third warning, he'll probably be in the window. So he was like a small concern for me, I would say. But I knew that Pablo was going to try to push as much as he can, and I think it was the right decision to go on the soft tire as well because I needed to make up for my higher wing, my lower wing in comparison to Pablo. So yeah, I was just pretty confident today. I don't really know. Maybe it was because I started pretty spontaneously and I was just very chilled out. And yeah, it was a good race. It was fun.
Sounds pretty good. Well, shall we get your 3-word race roundup?
Use high wing. It's just stupid. Yeah, I mean it's just stupid in this game because basically you can use very high wing on every track and you will just dominate in the mechanical sectors. That's like I don't think it's no, I think it's actually worth sacrificing some more straight line speed so that you are faster in the mechanical sectors, and that's what I did today, and I think that's what that was what the key basically was to win the race.
Well, you heard it here first. Well, congratulations on the win, and we look forward
Cheers.
to
Thank
seeing
you.
you next week.
Thanks. Cheers.
Right, there's one more person we're going to speak to. He didn't finish on the podium, but is looking rather optimistic to get himself onto the podium. So, Henson, if you'd like to come up. Henson. Henson has died, everybody. No. Wait a little longer. See if he comes back to his PC. Oh, he's figured it out.
Hello.
Hello. How are you?
The new thing doesn't work on my PlayStation. I think I have to move to my laptop to do it.
Oh no. Oh
Yeah,
well.
I'm not as optimistic anymore though, because I think Kresianos might bit me to it. There's been 4 reports about warnings getting removed.
Oh wow. I mean, even if it isn't a podium in the end, it was one hell of a chaotic race for you, wasn't it?
Yeah, I'm normally down in like 11th, so that was fun being up there for once. So
I mean, sort of talk us through it, because I mean, qualifying went a fair bit better than you were expecting, wasn't it?
yeah, I was ahead of Mr. Cookie, so that was a plus. He said that his controller was messing up, but I don't believe him.
Yeah, I never trust Cookie's excuses.
Yeah, so normally I'm like 12th. It's pretty good. I might have to steal some more setups off this spreadsheet I found.
And the race as well. It was, I think, I constantly saw you in overtakes pretty much every single lap. Is it?
I don't know if it was that often, but I was always getting overtaken every lap. It felt like I wasn't making many moves, but I still ended 5th. So
yeah, I was about to say, like, I saw like a couple of people overtake you, but you somehow managed to appear back up at the top every time. Does that come down to strategy? Sort of the
think
climbing
so.
back up the order?
I know like 3 people boxed under the final safety car, and I didn't. I gained places from that. I think it's just strategy there.
Yeah, and I mean, you were one of the first people to go on to the intermediates, weren't you?
Yeah, Mark the engineer gave me the call literally as I was at the pit entrance. I didn't see what his strategy was. I just saw, sorry about the damage. Check the new strategy on your MFD, even though I didn't have damage. So I just dived in knowing it was for Inters.
Yeah. Oh well, that's a stroke of luck to say the least. So
Yeah.
I mean, other than that, it was a really good race all round. Being like involved in sort of that much sort of battling and having to sort of really pay attention to sort of timings and strategy and whatnot. Is that the kind of race you prefer, or do you prefer a much more sort of laid back race?
No, I like the laid back races more. I was stressing in the last 3 laps. I was getting annoyed because I was getting overtaken, because I thought on like lap 30 I can get a podium, but then everyone was still overtaking me.
Yeah. Oh well, it was still a good result nevertheless, even if it isn't the podium position. So shall we
I
get
think
your?
it'll be P4.
Yeah, that's
It's
not too
just so
bad though,
good.
is it?
Yeah.
Do you get your 3-word race roundup?
I haven't thought of this for once. I'm not allowed to swear, right?
If needs must.
I'll say effing. Extremely effing wet.
Yeah, I think that's about right. I don't think I've ever seen it rain that hard in a race
Yeah,
before.
no, it was the thunderstorm thing. I've only seen that in career mode before.
Oh wow. Yeah, it was
I don't know if you
just.
saw any lightning.
I didn't notice any lightning, no, but just no, you could barely see the cars half the time because it was just clouded in rain.
Yeah, it was
Mental.
oversteer city, pretty much.
Oh yeah, the amount of back ends that were struggling was hilarious. um, so yeah, congratulations on the really good result, and we look forward to seeing you next week.
Thank you. Won't see me for a while, I assume, but thank you.
Alrighty, and that just about rounds it out. I hope you all have enjoyed. I've been the Castatistics. This has been BRL. Thank you, and good night.